Hi everyone, welcome to Mailsoftly YouTube channel. So today we have another guest on our YouTube channel. So Giovanni is with us. Hi Giovanni, how are you doing?
How's it going? I'm doing good.
Yeah, good to see you here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, okay. So first of all, Giovanni, can you tell a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, what are your product and services are, so that our audience know about you.
Yeah, definitely. So I run GTM Labs. We're essentially a fractional tech-enabled product marketing and competitive intelligence partner for companies. So in simple terms, we just help teams win more deals by taking the tactical competitive work off their plate so that leaders could be and think more strategically. And we work flexibly anywhere from 5 to 40 hours a week. And we're basically we plug into your team like an extension. And so you get hands-on execution, strategic alignment, and full visibility through our client portal. And all of this is at no cost, like no contracts. It's all, you can pause and unpause your plan at any time. And so that's pretty much what I do.
Cool, cool. So GTM motion, so go to market, actions you're doing, and what are your ideal customer profiles, Johnny?
Yeah, so right now it's startups that are growing. So any kind of startup that has a Series A or Series B that are feeling they're growing in team size. That's our ideal customers right now.
All right, awesome. Yeah, so Johnny, we met with you, and you were doing this also interesting stuff on what we call vibe coding, but vibe
Yeah.
coding for those of you who don't know about vibe coding is actually just experimenting with some kind of application development. Actually, it's a very good way of automating systems, automating maybe day-to-day operations, or maybe like medium or long-term plans too. But at the end of the day, leveraging the technology for your for your company's benefit. So at the end of the day, and Giovanni is doing some great things about it, and of course with Mailsoftly on the kind of communication side of the application side of the things. So we have he built very good integrations with Mailsoftly too in that sense. So Johnny, can you tell a little bit about what are your what you do with this vibe coding? What are your solutions that maybe our audience may find interesting? I know it's very interesting to me, but you may just maybe talk about a little bit about this.
Yeah, so let me give you my take on vibe coding before I go into it. So for me, vibe coding is a way for people who are non-technical to actually start coding. And what I define vibe coding is you need either like a cup of coffee or sparkling water next to you, and you just need to have patience as well because there's a lot of back and forth talking. And you definitely need an application called Flow, which is a speech to text, because I can speak faster than I can text or write. And so when you're talking to the IDE, which is like the interface that you use to make the magic happen, you want to speak instead of typing. And for me, vibe coding is just talking to the AI of like what you kind of want. You may not know the design terms or terminology or the exact computer science terminologies like refactoring, which is something I just learned yesterday. And you kind of just tell them like what you want, what you're seeing, what the errors are, and that for me is vibe coding. And you kind of just accept everything that the AI is
Right.
saying that it wants to do because you don't know what it's doing because you're not a technical person. And so yeah, that's how I define vibe coding. And I see vibe coding is really essential for the non-technical people because you can really ramp up a lot of ideas, hypotheses that you have that's going on in your business. If you want to test certain segmentation of audiences, you want to build a landing page, but you also want a beautiful animations where normally it would cost you maybe like $5,000, and it'll take you a long time to go back and forth with the graphic designer, then the engineer to build out using JavaScript, HTML, CSS. that takes a lot of time, resources, and so you can easily do that in 6 hours if you really, as a newcomer, do it in 6 hours. So I think the it just lowers the barrier for non-technical people who know zero about like coding anything, like no Python experience, no C++ experience. It makes it really easy for them to get the ball rolling and test ideas and see what can work and what doesn't work just off the gate. So like time to value would be one thing that I think companies would benefit by vibe coding, and just so many others that I can't really think of at the moment. But yeah.
Very cool. So basically, what you're saying is you're just talking with this guy there, like AI agent, and
Yeah.
then it just translates your words, translates your ideas into functioning applications.
Yeah, so the beautiful thing with flow is when you speak, sometimes you speak with like ums and likes, and maybe it comes out in a certain way that doesn't make sense. Well, flow kind of organizes what you're saying into like a really good format, and then the AI interprets that by thinking almost like a product manager or an engineer of like, this is what the user is asking, and this is what I'm going to do to solve the problems or how I'm going to execute. And then at the end, it'll tell you, this is what these are all the things that I've done and all of the files that I've affected. And it summarizes everything. So yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Which is very cool. So I always see computer science as a kind of computer scientist as an actually translator. So whatever, for instance, you are getting from your customer or whatever, you have an idea, whatever it is, what you are doing as a computer scientist or developer is mainly translating your idea into some coding which
Mm.
computers can understand and then
Yeah.
execute. So actually, at the end of the day, development is kind of a translator between idea and computers. But with the kind of advent of AI that just arrived right
Yeah.
now, this barrier of kind of translation is just leveled up. So to another high level language, which is just speaking, which is just talking.
Yeah.
So right now you don't need to know like Python or Ruby or whatever language that out there. You don't need to know that. All you need to do is talk to kind of an AI, and then it will translate whatever language you want to create this app from. I mean, even it can be like language agnostic. You may be language agnostic. At the end of the day, customers will only care the value that you're bringing to the table. They don't care what language behind these applications. If it's fast, if it is creating value, if it is easy to use, that's
Yeah.
all they care about, of course, which is
And
very
secure too.
important. Yeah, go
And
ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's also scary to think. Like as you said that, like because it's true. It's a translation thing that coders are, and that is almost like not non-existent. But I mean, I could just talk to ChatGPT and say, like, this is my idea, and then it'll just start to like code it. And it's kind of scary. Like, what does that mean for like the future of developers when anyone can just talk to AI and it does the translations for them, and it just builds a website or it builds a Chrome extension or it builds an iOS, software.
Right.
That's terrifying. Like, what does that mean for the future of for future of work?
Definitely. So it will probably come to the fact that the kind of prompts, the kind of ideas that we put out there, will matter more. So
Yeah,
whatever you are trying to achieve, if you express it in a more cleaner way, by thinking at the end of the day there'll be some users that's gonna use this product, then you can come up with some better ways of expressing it to the your kind of assistant, which is like AI agent in that case.
yeah,
So it can create better kind of coding, better maybe like functioning products. Yeah, so we will see how it will evolve at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
definitely right now, so maybe it's going to be too technical, but at the end of the day, machines understand ones and zeros. So machine language, we have it. So after that, we had like assembly language, and after that, we have like more like Python or like Java, etc. This kind of so abstraction occur occurred from the start of this machine coding thing, and then right now we had more like frameworks which brought us a more like abstraction. So we are going high level of languages, and then we have like drag and drop tools which basically really abstract any coding information and
Uh-huh.
knowledge, so you can just drag and drop things. But right now we have another abstraction, which is right now just talking, which is very natural to any one of us because because it's right now very intuitive to come up with some kind of ideas and then talk to a guy that can understand it, that can just and who can also put this together into a functioning application, which is kind of very exciting, especially if you are a little bit interested in that type of building stuff, which Giovanni, as
Yeah.
you are.
It's because I
Yeah,
have ADHD. I like once I build something, it's on to the next thing, the
right,
next
right.
shiny toy.
But yeah, so so you are doing this, but also even so that's just requires some, of course, like, so you are interested in this, so that's why you are doing this. And some people, even it's just very easy to just talk to an AI agent and come up with some like products. For some people, that may not be that exciting. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, as we all are, we have struggles in daily lives, we have struggles on our businesses. So at the end of the day, you are the person maybe they can just reach out, and then you can just maybe build these products with talking AI, whatever. But again,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you can deliver this as a service. Is that what you are doing right now, Johnny? Or is this a service that you think that you want to just give, or you're already doing this?
Yeah. So this is something that is it definitely is a service that I'm planning on doing. And it is something that exists right now. It's called like arbitrage. People are going on Fiverr and they're looking at,
Right.
all of the job listings that either startups or people want someone to build for them. It could be it could be something like a tracker or like some kind of CRM tracker that's very like minimal. And people are doing and building these softwares essentially for these companies for like a one-time deal. And it's interesting because there is a lot of pushback from the community who are actually like the dev community are saying that people who are building these softwares who don't know a lot of coding, like these vibe coders are building these softwares and it's not secure. Like any developer that knows anything about coding can go on that software, inject something, and get like their APIs that they're using. It can get like tokens. It can get a lot of scary stuff. So it risks a lot of. I see a lot of risk in like financial, like the finance and also healthcare, like HIPAA compliancy and like being like SOC 2. You can expose a lot of those things. So it's something that I'm dabbling in and I'm trying to understand how to safely secure my information, also my client's information as well. But yeah, this is something that exists and I'm currently working on it.
Yeah, right. So of course, security is always there, and actually has been is gonna be a lot important because, as you're mentioning right now, because of all of these integrations, because of all of these capabilities out there,
Yeah.
so we may expose some,
Yeah.
security
Yeah.
problem.
The caveat here is like if it's like a database, that's where it gets that's where you need to be careful. If it's just like a landing page that needs to be built out, but you want like beautiful animations, right? Like you want it to be like interactive, where on the landing page, a person can like move like let's say you build out like a widget, and that widget is demonstrating your CRM system, and you want the user to go on the landing page, look at kind of how the CRM system looks, and start to move over like contacts. That's kind of hard to do in like Webflow and other builders, but with like Java and CSS and HTML, it's pretty easy. If you're using like, if you're vibe coding, it's pretty easy to do. And in that instance, when you're building those type of things, you're not exposing any kind of credentials or like APIs, because it's just using Java, CSS, and HTML. So in those cases, yeah, like it's easy to build out those landing pages for clients and this is really valuable too if you're working in a team, if you're a marketer and you have an idea of how a landing page should be, and you want to give an example to like the dev team or to the product manager. You can build this out kind of really easily and then push it along and get buy-in. But yeah, there's kind of like there's those two avenues where if you're building like an actual dedicated software where there's like you need to use like Supabase or some kind of a place that stores information or tokens or like client credentials, then that's kind of it's a little different.
Right. So, can you give a little bit about some examples of what you've built and how the kind of businesses can benefit? Because you mentioned one solar app
Yeah.
that you created. Maybe you may want to talk about it. Maybe.
Yeah. So there's an app for my friend works in. He's like, bless his heart, he loves to. It's not soliciting. He loves to go door to door, knock on people's houses, and sell solar. So I asked him, what would like help you move the needle forward in those like conversations where you're in the house of a homeowner and you're trying to explain like how you're trying to explain how they can save money going solar or things like that. And he told me he wanted like visualizations and also to be able to pull out like exactly like how many panels they would need on their roof. And so I built out this app and it's using the Google Solar API. It's easy to find. You just Google Solar API, and it's pretty cost effective. And so I made the API call. So when you type in the homeowner's address, it pulls out the actual visualization of the heat that their top of the roof would be exposed during like the summer, and the cost savings when they switch to solar. And also it tells them how many solar panels they'll probably need based off of averages, and then it also tells them how much money they'd be saving annually. And it also has a button that will send that report as a PDF to the homeowner. So then it gives a reason for my friend to follow up via email. So I built that out for him. I've also built out some other applications that I haven't really fully finished out just because of priorities, but I wanted to build out this app for dogs who are in shelters to find a home, like a forever home. And it's like forever as in FUR. And so the application, there's also an API where it pairs with adoption centers or dog shelters. And it lists the dogs that they have. It's almost like a directory. And so the idea is it's almost like a Tinder. So a Tinder application where if you swipe through dogs that you like, and the dogs that you don't, you swipe left. And so the dogs that you like, it shows you where they're located, and then you can schedule an appointment to go and see them and to check them out. But that's something that's still kind of in the queue for completion. The other things that I built out are just landing pages. So I'm testing different copy for different segmentations. Like if you go to like cs.gtmlabs.io, that's a landing page particularly for competitive intelligence. And if you go to, that's CI, so ci.gtmlabs.io, that's for competitive intelligence. Then I'm testing another messaging for like the content generation side. So if you go to cs.gtmlabs.io, you also see the messaging there. But the thing that you see is all like the beautiful animations that I would never be able to do in Webflow or WordPress, and I'm able to do it just by talking to a computer for like 2 hours, and that's the beauty of it. So those are some things that I built out, and also I just started vibe coding like 3 weeks ago, so I'm very new in the space. But of course, vibe coding is very new to anyone. But there's a lot of beautiful things that have come about it from it.
Yeah, awesome. So especially this, solar application that you created is really interesting because, at the end of the day, with this, Google's API about,
Yeah,
like sunlight, whatever the address they put in, and then how much sun is there, so that they can know how many solar panels they may need and what's the cost. It's very like it's huge actually when you think about it, because you are giving exact kind of a feasibility, right? If it is
hmm,
feasible or not, with the exact location of the house, which is kind of an awesome thing. So people can know if it's feasible for them to just install these solar panels or not. For the time being, by the way, for the cost of for the time being, the technology right now is in some certain level, but of course it's just enhancing. Maybe it may not be feasible today, but maybe it may be feasible a couple of months later with the new technology in solar panels and etc. The probably the sun exposure will not change that much unless we have like global warming and etc., that type of thing.
yeah,
But the yeah, it's very interesting, and people will definitely may find it very useful, especially
yeah,
if they are into this clean energy and they want to reduce their PGE bills or this utility bills out there. Very interesting.
and
So
he likes it.
yeah,
He was telling me that he likes it because he knows how many times he was in a person's house, because it tracks how many reports it gives out.
right,
You can go into the app and he's like, oh, I went into like 5 houses today, and
right,
that's a rate. Like if I'm a sales director, I can easily go on this application and see all my sales personnel, and see how many times they're going into people's houses by looking at how many reports they're generating, or how many times they're typing in a person's address. So that's something that I've heard from him, and I'm thinking, I could probably build more features
right,
from this, right? And I could probably sell this into organization like solar agency or solar organizations.
right.
And so yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm just thinking about with this application, but I mean that's for maybe another conversation.
Right, right. And like it can also help with GTM motion of those companies. I think you can they can definitely use this application so that they can detect, okay, so which areas are more like getting this sunlight, and then they can reach out to them saying that, look, so your region, it looks like very profitable if you just install these solar panels. You can
Mhm.
even maybe say that in how many months or years, whatever, it will pay off itself with the reduction of their utility bills, which is kind
Yeah,
of very very effective. A different kind of GTM motion, I would say.
yeah,
Awesome. All right. Okay. Yeah. So and all of these applications, all of this. So this is actually the capabilities right now with the advent of AI. With AI, just came to our daily lives. With the so right now, actually we have like superpowers. So everything can be reconsidered, redesigned, or we can just rethink about the way that we do business. So so this is very powerful, and when it comes to Mailsoftly, so Mailsoftly is at the end of the day is a marketing automation platform. So so we can think about Mailsoftly as the communication tool. So even we do this like applications, we gotta deliver our message to our audience. So that's where actually Giovanni and we as in Mailsoftly just partner with. So with all of this like solar applications and the other applications that Giovanni just creating, so the communication is sending email, sending like these reports are being done, via Mailsoftly. Right now, we are also gonna implement more APIs, and then
Oh, I'm excited.
yeah,
Wait. More APIs. Talk more about that.
right, yeah. I mean, yeah. So in Mailsoftly, of course, we are also we're gonna add some more communication channels that people can use, like social media posts will be able to made inside Mailsoftly. So those are like those are on the way, and already SMS is already there. So we are putting more channels, communication channels, where our users can just kind of deliver their message to their audience. And also, of course, all of this AI leverage will
Yeah.
also be inside of Mailsoftly with our AI agents, where again our users will be able to just talk to AI agents, our Mailsoftly AI agents, and then create their emails, do their automations, and maybe doing some social media posts
Yeah.
that will already be there, built for them by our digital workers, AI
Yeah.
agents. So there are some pretty cool features gonna come around their way, and yeah, so it's very exciting.
And for the viewers, the reason why like I mentioned APIs is because when you get into the vibe coding, you'll quickly realize that APIs are super useful when you want to use other softwares. Like, you can think of an API call as like your direct line to communicate with another software and being able to retrieve information or push information to that software.
Right.
And that just means you can create actual like a product, like an actual software product you can sell to for like millions of dollars. And that's why I asked APIs, because like I'm curious, when you're building out these new communication channels, are you also building out APIs for those channels?
Yes, definitely. So to be able to post on LinkedIn, for instance, inside Mailsoftly, of course we are building these APIs so that people will be able to authenticate their
Yeah.
application with like Mailsoftly, their LinkedIn accounts, their Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So that they will be able to actually use Mailsoftly generated content
Yeah.
specifically designed, specifically tailored for their like industry, their business, because we know them, because they are using our platform to create their newsletters, sending emails, etc. So we already know them, and also we already their website and everything. So we already have
Yeah.
their information. So we can just create specific posts with images, etc. And all they need to do is, okay, I like this. They can just select whichever they want. So this is kind of be a library of things that
Yeah.
for their use. Actually, they all they need to do, they just pick the ones that they like, and then schedule it inside Mailsoftly without even bothering going through this like LinkedIn posting or like Instagram posting. They'll be able to just do it inside Mailsoftly, which is, I think, kind of cool. Right now, the AI is just helps us generate those, of course, personalized, industry specific content. So that's the power, that's the leverage actually. And to your point, APIs are For those of for those of there, for our viewers that don't know APIs, so APIs is actually, you can think of it like this. So instead of like creating something by pushing a button, like just clicking on a button and you write something, instead of this create and send kind of like user interaction, APIs are actually, you can use APIs without just without needing any user actually. So instead of users creating, just clicking on buttons, API calls can do it on behalf of them. So they don't need to kind of go there and do this manual work again inside of the software. Rather, they can just talk to AI agent, and with the API calls, so this content, this email, or this segmentation, whatever they are trying to do, will be there without. So they don't need to care about. So the kind of, okay, how can I edit this email, for instance? They don't need to know this anymore. They will not be able to, because they will say that, okay, edit this. They will just talk to AI agent, and AI agent will do it. How? With the APIs. But users don't need to know that. so that's the power. That's the kind of, APIs are the kind of the things that give other software, other programs kind of authorization to do actions, to take some actions. Edit, create, delete, that sort of actions. So I mean, I'm just for the for our audience. So all right, thank you, Giovanni. So we got to wrap up. So anything that you want to share with our audience?
Question for you.
Sure.
Since you mentioned like the different channels for that you're going to be implementing at Mailsoftly.
Right.
I'm curious how you're going to be. I'm curious about the rebranding. Is there going to be a rebranding for Mailsoftly? And because now you're getting into an area where you're talking about creating content. That's almost. I mean, I'm thinking almost like a HubSpot or something. Well, not this year. I'm part, but I think you're going to be going up against new competitors. Is what I'm trying to say. And so how are you thinking about like the new competitors you'll be going into and facing, and then also thinking about the rebranding and positioning of Mailsoftly?
Right. So Mailsoftly is mainly marketing automation tool right now. Basically, I mean, mainly email marketing and SMS, I would say. But so we are getting a lot of like feature requests from our users, and I also see that a lot of applications out there go to multiple products, multi-product companies. It was not that good maybe a couple of years ago because like specialization, going vertical in software as a service, industry actually was popular and still popular actually. But with the AI right now, you can leverage a lot of things. So you can just create more value in a faster and effective way. So it is this capability that made us think, okay, so why not we can just maybe create value to our users. So it's not going to be like general social media posting platform. They're already out there. There are like good products out there. But when it comes to, okay, so let's just like blend this with the automated, personalized content, then it resonated because we are also doing creating email templates for our users right now. So we are working on it. So for instance, let's say that you're an agency right now, for instance, GTM agency. So what we are doing right now, since we know your company, since your company's emails inside of our platform, we can analyze those and then we can come up with some good email templates for you. right?
Yeah.
So if we do that, we can also come up with why not coming up with like social media posts, and
Yeah.
we can also come up with some landing pages that we think you might find useful. So those
Yeah.
are the things that we want to just create for our users. So it's up to them if they want to use it. If they don't, that's fine. But it's something that is doable and that resonates, and what we do, and that will resonate with our users. So we are not thinking about competition right now, but what we are trying to think more is how we can create more value to our users without making things complicated, by the way, without
Mm-hmm.
confusing them. So and if we align ourselves, and yeah, you're right, the positioning may change, but right now what we do is so those are also some experiments on our end, but we want to do it, and I think our customers will love it. So yeah, so that's where we're gonna go towards.
And I forgot to ask, I think this is like the most important question. Do you vibe code? Because I know you are the one, the technical person at Mailsoftly.
Right.
How do you code? Or do you use like Visual Coder or Cursor? Or...
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we are a typical software company, so we use like Python, Ruby on Rails, and stuff, etc. So we do general coding using like code editors and stuff like Sublime Text Editor and all the other tools out there. And yeah, but with AI, of course, right now, of course, we also create some WordPress plugins and etc. So to me, as if you're asking me personally, of course, I love to play around with the things, and yeah, I am technical. I'm the CEO of the company, but I am the CTO. So I'm everything, by the way. Anyway, so but this with AI right now, I am experimenting with some GPTs. I create some GPTs. I create some plugins. I create some like integrations with, for instance, Python-based machine learning applications, etc. So I am experimenting a lot. So it's very exciting to have some professional advisor like this GPT things like generative AI. To be honest, I use OpenAI. We use OpenAI both inside of our Mailsoftly AI agents and also inside of our company while generating codes, content, etc. We are getting a lot of help. I think it creates a lot of value to us. Yeah, but yeah, when it comes to this vibe coding, so and also I do a lot of I try many other applications out there, but to see okay what they're doing, what they're working on, how they do the design, UX, UI,
Yeah.
etc. Everything. Yeah, so it definitely helps a lot. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Hopefully, one of these days you give Cursor a try, and you wait, either it's at night or early in the morning, get a cup of coffee, and just just start talking to the AI.
Right, definitely. Yeah, definitely we can do that. All right. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure.
Thank you for speaking. All right. So thank you for listening and watching this, guys. So we're gonna put Giovanni's links and contact information on our behind this below this YouTube video. Thank you and see you soon again.